Hey guys, this is Water Elemental. I'm just doing a double feature here, not really double feature. I'm testing my new microphone, seeing how it sounds on YouTube and all that stuff, but while I'm doing that, I'm also gonna, give something out for you guys. I'm kind of doing a FAQ, kind of a lot of recently asked questions, a lot of commonly asked questions and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna clarify a lot of stuff while I'm doing it, so kill two stones with one bird. The first question I regularly get is, what are you guys' League of Legends summoner names? Axis 48 is Axis's. That's the pretty obvious one. Everybody kind of knows that. I'm Kamter, Kamter. The reason behind that is when I signed up for the game, I wasn't able to use Water Elemental and all this stuff, so I go by that in game, and I just haven't felt like changing it. So that's my handle. You can definitely add us anytime you want, and it's just that's the simplest of all the questions. The next one is, why do you not use footage, and why do you have it on YouTube if all you do is use pictures? The reason behind that is, I usually use pictures because when I first started the show, it was mainly, mainly it was all about the audio, and then we'd put in the stuff in the background just to add stuff to it. It was kind of an idea as I was editing it in the first episode. So that's what I did for the pictures, and the reason why I still do it is because it's mainly about the audio. It's mainly about us talking, stuff like that, and it was originally supposed to be in iTunes, but then I realized no one ever uses the iTunes podcast system, and more people would actually listen to us on YouTube, so I went that direction. Secondly, getting footage from League of Legends is extremely hard and frustrating. I don't play with fraps on, and if I do play with fraps, it is extremely laggy, and it sucks because it takes a lot of processing power away from my computer, even now after I upgraded it. The second reason is, if I use low recorder, it triples my time to get the footage and edit it down, because when you have to use low recorder, it's recording the whole map, and you have to constantly watch your character. You can set it just to watch your character, but it's just not as exciting because it cuts off most of the stuff, because all the exciting stuff is always off the panel, so you can't just let it record and leave it. And it kind of goes down from an editing process of an hour and a half to about 4 hours, because after I edit the audio, I'd have to go in there, find the footage I want, watch the footage, rewatch the footage while recording it, make sure everything looks good, then bring it in, edit it down, and put it in the show. So that's a lot of time, and then you have to render it, which increases rendering time for about 2 hours in high quality, because if you put it in low quality, it's going to look horrible anyways, but if you put it in high quality, it's going to increase rendering time for about like another hour. So it takes my editing processes up to about 4 or 5 hours, and that's it. A lot of people don't even watch the show. They mainly listen to it in the background while they're playing games, or if they're working on something, from what a lot of people have told me. So it's on the background. I want to do footage more often. I'll probably do it more when a new champion comes out, just kind of have us playing the new champion or something like that. Add more gameplay footage to this channel and all that stuff, but right now it's a pain in the butt. And I'm looking for ways to make it easier, and I do want to add more in the future, but right now it's painful. It's painful editing, and it delays the show coming out for you guys to enjoy. Third question is one that's asked not as often as it used to, but it's something I would really like to do, is people ask us if we could do collaborations and stuff with them. And I would love to. It would get our names out there more, put us into other people's audiences, and it will get other people's audiences interested in, their show too. So you guys would, find other people about our known range. It's not known range, but editing level and stuff like that about the show, and you'd get their opinions, and we'd kind of swap stuff around, spice things up a bit. They would be on our show one time, or we'd do something with that, or we'd have like a collaboration where we're playing a game together with someone else. I'd love to do something like that. I know Axis wants to do something like that too. If you're interested with that, if you do any sort of show and you want us on there, or you guys want to talk to us more, and if you got a show, and definitely we can do something up. We can set something up. Definitely email us. You'll be probably talking to me, and we could probably set something up. But definitely, I want to do some more collaborations, because the last time we did it was really fun. Confusing, but fun. Next question is, why is the titles messed up in the beginning when the videos first come out, and why are things always messed up inside the description on all your videos? The reason why the descriptions are always messed up is I do that on purpose. I want to see what people are actually looking at inside the videos, and I want to see what people are reading and if people are just skimming it over and if people are actually paying attention to anything I put in there, so I can add more stuff for people to read, or I take stuff out and or put the links up top, or I'm just testing to see what people are checking out and seeing what I can add and remove to make the experience better for everybody that watches. I do that on purpose. Yeah, it seems silly, but it works. A lot of people on the last episode, on episode 74, were wondering why it said 73rd or 74th, something like that. I did that on purpose, so I knew people were looking at it, so now I'm going to adjust things around to fix that and see what else people are looking at. The reason why the titles sometimes are all messed up is because YouTube doesn't like certain punctuation in the text in the title or in the tags. So sometimes I can have the title perfectly fine and then I put stuff in the tags, then the tags will mess up and it will revert everything back to the when I uploaded it. So I could have it saying episode 9999 League of Legends, blah, 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 and then I put in the tags, and I put all the tags, you know, stuff like that in there, and it doesn't like a punctuation or something spelled, it will go back to my file name. So I always have to fight with that every once in a while. It's mainly YouTube on that part, but it's kind of reason why that gets messed up. So don't yell at me next time you see News Final 47 or something like that up. Next question is about, where is the Bootcamp videos, and why haven't you done any champion breakdowns? I'll start with the breakdowns. The reason why we haven't done that lately is we haven't actually gotten feedback on that. When we did it, not many people said they liked it or hated it. We just kind of stopped on that. We didn't know if people enjoyed it or didn't, so we just kind of took a step back and said maybe we'll just wait a while on that, find a better way to do it. And I'm kind of having ideas on how we can do that now on down weeks where we can incorporate that into the show, or just make it a separate segment every week. But right now it was essentially no feedback, nothing like that. So we just kind of took a step back and said, hey, you know, we'll work on this later when we can get a better way to do it. The Bootcamp videos are coming out. I'm working on them, but it's just, once again, it's mainly because footage isn't working right. I've been getting footage for some champions I don't own, so I've had to use other people's accounts and try to get footage from them, and it's just kind of a mess, and I only need like 5 or 6 minutes of footage of just showing off abilities. But since I'm trying to even do it in bots versus AI, or even doing it just in a custom game, I still get told I'm going to get penalized for hopping in and out of games constantly, and I'm trying to avoid that because of the whole ban system and stuff like that. So I'm avoiding that. I'm trying to find a good way to do that. So I'm almost done with it. I just got to get the footage, and then we're at the home stretch on that. Another show that I've talked about a lot, and people don't really know if we're still doing it or not, is the card game show. We were about 70% done with that when all our footage and all that stuff was lost due to this new camera we bought and all this technical difficulties, and it was frustrating. We were almost done. We almost had everything ready to go for final processing, and it just didn't work out right. So I kind of stepped back and said, I don't want to do this. So every time I think about it, I'm just like, well, I would like to get it again, but that means I got to start from scratch. It's like when you play a video game, you get really far, then you get sent back to the beginning, and it's just like, I don't really want to replay all this right now. You just kind of take time back so you kind of build yourself back up to jump back into it, and that's what I'm doing right now. And hopefully I can get it back up and running. There's a new card shop open up near my house and stuff like that, so I'm definitely going to be able to get more card game footage and stuff like that, and just kind of more card games and more stuff to talk about, so that will probably be a good thing later on. But right now it's just bad footage, and I got to get a new camera. Another question a lot of people ask is, why are your facts wrong? And mainly this is on older episodes. We've been better about this on newer episodes, where we wait until facts come out and stuff like that for new champions. But as far as older stuff, we had the facts right back in the day, but the time between now and when those episodes were recorded, like when Cassiopeia came out and now, her cooldowns were different, her spell percentages were different, stuff like that. They've changed them since the time that they came out now. So people, when they see these videos, they think that they're supposed to be up to date, but they're not. So we're talking about stuff that's happened like 6-7 months ago, and every 2 weeks there's a new patch. So there's a lot of patches in between fixing and bug changing and stuff like that. So champions get moved around. So things don't sync up. The videos don't age well, but people don't understand that correctly. So we might have been right back in August, but now things are different, so we sound like complete idiots. So you just got to kind of keep that in mind, that just because it sounds wrong, just got to realize that these are older episodes. Just kind of look at the date. And we're working on that on the new archive thing, where we're going to give new scores to certain champions and stuff like that based on how they've been updated and tweaks to them. So champions like Oriana and Irelia, where we gave bad scores when they first came out, are now really good, so we can actually go back and kind of tackle them more. And that's kind of where I was talking about every other week we'd review a new champion and give them a new score, so we weren't just putting scores out of the blue on the new website. So we've got a lot of stuff planned as far as that, but as of right now, a lot of stuff is older, and I there's no real way I can go back and fix everything. Just keep that in mind if you're watching older episodes, and you're always going to have those people that don't realize that stuff recorded in August is different than stuff recorded now. The last question I want to talk about is one a lot of people really get either personal about, or they just think we're nuts. But it's pretty much, why don't you like certain champions, and why don't you like blank, or why do you prefer blank over blank? It's all based on our opinion. The whole show's based on our likes and dislikes and our opinions about everything. And the best example for that is actually with the Nine-Tailed Fox and that whole spiel. We lost a lot of fans because of that, because they didn't like the fact that we didn't like the Nine-Tailed Fox, and we constantly were joking about it. But this whole show is about our experiences and our likes and dislikes and what we think the game needs and stuff like that. It's all about our opinion. We're not usually trying to bash people as far as what they like and stuff like that. We like joking around and stuff like that. And when it came to the Nine-Tailed Fox, Axis and I, we just thought the whole idea was silly. We probably went a little bit overboard and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's our opinion, you know. It's just, we thought she was silly. It's, you know, our personal preference. Same with champions. Like, when we would review a mage champion, Axis might rate it higher than me because he's better with mages. Or if there's a tank out or support champion, I might rank him higher because I like support and I'm better with tanks and stuff like that. You know, if I go jump into a melee champion that's really squishy, I don't do very well because I'm not good with them. And Axis is. So if I jump into a character and I'm like, well, I didn't like him because Talon wasn't a good champion, blah blah blah, but I'm not good with him, so that's my perspective on it. People think I hated the champion. I don't mind the champion. He's really well if you know how to play him, but this is my view on him. I don't like him. I'm not good with him. There's certain things I don't like about him. And then I can specialize in support and what I like and dislike about support. It's all perspective on all this stuff, and that's kind of why certain things make certain people mad and why people rage and stuff like that. Like, we liked Victor. A lot of people don't like Victor for certain things, but we like him based on creativity and stuff like that, and I'll get that into a second. And finally, the last question is, why do you guys rate things so weirdly? What are your criteria for rating a champion? The main things we rate champions on when a new champion comes out, we rate them on 3 major things: playability, interesting abilities, and just overall themes. Certain champions may be really bad, but their themes are really cool. Like, let's go back to Victor. When we talked about Victor, a lot of people don't like him. We liked Victor because he seemed really cool. He's a really interesting looking champion. He has a lot of unique spell sets and stuff like that. He isn't just a generic mage where he has, you know, a defensive ability, an escape mechanism, and a burn damage thing. So when he blows all his abilities, he's left open. He has a special ultimate that no other champion can really duplicate. He doesn't have anything that he sets himself apart, and we score based on that as well as we score on how well he can do in a game. Nine-Tailed Fox, we'll go back to this one, just because her theme was bad didn't mean we didn't like her. We went back and we actually just we talked about why we liked her, and we gave her the high score that we did because of her abilities and all that stuff. So it's all based upon certain aspects, and we kind of give leeway. We don't have like a hardcore judging score and stuff like that. We just give them a number that seems fitting, and sometimes we will change them if things are changed a lot, kind of like how Yorick was. We really need to go back and talk about Yorick since they did a lot of different buffs to him. But essentially that's it. We score on like 3 or 4 different things. We just kind of talk about how we feel, and that's the score reflects how we feel about the champion. That's really about it on questions. These are all the ones I could kind of dig up on the comments and stuff like that. Hopefully that cleared a lot of things up. Hopefully there's, you know, not too much confusion on certain things, and it gives you kind of a broader perspective of why we do things here and how I do things and what makes us tick. So hopefully that sums up stuff better. And yeah, I'm kind of puttering out here. If you guys, like I said, if you have any questions on this, definitely comment about it, share it with friends and stuff like that. I have nothing else to say. This is the worst ending ever to any of the videos, but this has been Water Elemental, and thanks for listening.